They're just here to watch, people. Hate. The fuck was that? Oh, the comment section is on now. Okay. They just here to watch. Yo, TikTok, I need y'all to tap the screen, man. I'm building a collective. More people in my collective. We're gonna start building with my page first, and then once we, get 100 people in the Discord, then we're gonna start showing how to build these social media platforms the right way with positivity. We're gonna bombard comment sections with positivity, light, love, knowledge. All right. I need a knowledgeable collective so we can go around and spread knowledge. I'm putting together a collective of knowledgeable people. I need knowledgeable people. Calling all knowledgeable people. Put your pride to the side. Don't come with pride and ego, because we not operating on pride and ego. So don't come with pride and ego, please. Put your pride to the side. Don't come with pride and ego, right? This is about the world. We need to put knowledge back into the world. We need more people spreading knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. We are in a time of spirituality. We are in a heavy time of spirituality right now. You see, Aquarius. So the time might have went this way like this, and we built all of this already. We built this. We built the I am state, right? This is the I am, right? So we built that state, right? We built the I have state. We built this. We built this state, right? This is all different state of beings. I am, I have, I think, right? And you keep on going. I feel, right? Cancer is feel, right? This is the time of creation. This is what's happening inside the vessel when you are created before you come into this physical world, right? I create, right? This is an understanding of self. These are all the things. These are your abilities. This is your Akashic records right here, right? Right? And then look at 7. Libra says, I unite, right? Unity, right? Then it says, I deserve, right? Look at Scorpion. Or is it deserve, desire? Desire, right? That's where all your guilty pleasures is at. That's why Scorpion is represented as your uh, private areas, right? And then it's Sagittarius, I see, right? And then you looking at Capricorn, it's I tolerate, right? So we had a state of time where we tolerated each other, right? Or tolerated shit, right? And then you're in the I know, right? So then we in a time of belief, and then it's I believe. That's the Pisces era that we just came out of. So now this same thing is going this way now. Now the clock, instead of going counterclockwise, now it's going clockwise. Now it's Pisces. We're coming out of Pisces into Aquarius, right? Aquarius is an I know state. You're watching people right now with limited knowledge walk around like they know. That's why you got to be forever learning. You got to be forever a student, because there's so many people walking around with this I know, right? And you see who rules the sky, right? Right? That says nothing. So here we are. We're in the time of water again, right? We're in the water again. We're in that Aquarius sky. It says this is the right side of your hemisphere of your brain. This is the right side of the hemisphere of your brain. So right now, there's a lot of activity going on in the northern sky. If you put your brain in the universe, right? If you put your brain in the universe, this part of the sky, this is where the Lyran constellation is at. In the northern part of the sky, the Lyran constellation. This is also where the Borealis is, right here. The Borealis, right? In the sky, right? So that's why you see so much activity in that part of the sky. Because if it's activity in that part of the sky, then it's a lot of activity in that part of our brain. So right now, that part of our brain is highly active because of the Lyran constellation. The Lyran constellation, it's called the Lucifer Comet. The Lucifer Comet, or the morning star, entered back into the Lyran constellation 4/20/24. So 4/20/24, the Lucifer Comet entered back into the Lyran constellation. So now we have a lot of spiritual activity going on in our minds. One's in the chat if that makes sense. If you know what part of if you know what your northern part of your brain, it is what we see in this reality. It is our visual, so on and so forth. So now our reality is going to be perceived different. It's going to be perceived different. We're going to come into a level of consciousness, conscious understanding. This is where you get the recognition at. Where it says, but this is where your spiritual discernment comes in, right? Because now we're in the Aquarius sky. We're coming out of Pisces, we're in the Aquarius, and then Capricorn, and then so on and so forth, because this is how time works. This is not a circle. This is how it works. The Mayans counted this way and told you when the 13th lunar cycle was going to happen. So the Mayans gave you an understanding of when the reset was going to happen. So according to the Mayans calendar, the count was 13. So 12, really, because they said in the 13th lunar cycle, which is Aquarius sky, this is going to be the time of Christ consciousness returning, right? So everybody is in the consciousness of Christ, right? So right now, we have a great opportunity to birth a Christ-like being. With all of this ether being back into the atmosphere, with all of this spiritual essence, you have a chance to birth a Christ-like being, but you have to have discipline over the flesh. You have to eat properly, and then the vessel that you pass the seed to also have to be eating properly. Fruits, vegetation, stuff like that. And for the time that you carry that essence, you are supposed to be putting life into your body. And of course, fish, because that's why Christ is a representation of fish. Pisces. Because it was like the one thing that you can actually put in your body that's still feeding off the light. There's a lot of high water fish that just comes to the top. Everybody wants to figure out why dolphins do what they do, or it's to get that light from the sun. What do a whale fin do? Or they all come up to get that light. like an antenna, like a, you know, you gotta come up and get that signal from the universe. They tell us it in everything. We just don't listen. They put it in everything. They tell us it in everything. We just don't listen. We're creatures of habit. So we got in the habit of not listening. We got in the habit of being ignorant. That was the test. That's why I say, like, God tested us, you know, he gave us this human experience to see if we can rise above the human experience and be gods. That's what it was. It's like, because unless you put somebody down here as an example of it, you can't say why it is. So people say that that we was put in slavery. No, we wasn't put in slavery. We wasn't put in slavery. It was a test to see. It was a test to see. We was trying to get them to rise above their carnal ways. And they try to say that you can't tell us to rise above our carnal ways unless you come out of the carnal first. So then we had to be put in carnal operation in order to rise above the carnal, just like the book of Revelation says. He who rises above the carnal will not experience a second unaliving. So we had to be put in carnal ways to rise above carnal ways so we can show them examples of how to rise above it. And they put all of the people in these carnal ways in order to, you know, show the effects of it. And then once we put ourselves in these carnal ways, they trapped us in them. They trapped us in carnal ideology. They trapped us in this, you know, kill or be killed, you know, survival of the fittest. They trapped us in this. So they created gladiator schools, whatever they did. They pushed the knowledge out, burnt down, you know, Alexandria Library so you wouldn't learn about it. They took our teachings away so we wouldn't teach each other how to rise above it, right? Because some people had the willpower to actually rise above it, to not eat, you know, to not eat the flesh, to not eat meat, right? We rose above that. We ate from the fruit. We set out in the sun. That's why they put you in working operation in the daytime to hide you from the sun, right? So they put you in working operation so you ain't feeding off the sun. How many of y'all actually going out getting sun? None of y'all. How many of y'all actually endure the heat of the sun? None of y'all. Everybody wants cool. Everybody wants to be put inside. Oh, I'm working in the daytime, and then by the time I get off, it's nighttime already. Nobody's actually bathing in the sun anymore. There was a time where we actually stopped our day to go get some sun. That's where that high noon stuff comes from. High noon, showdown. That wasn't no showdown time, Midwest bullshit. That was times that we all stopped and stood. We knew the sun was right above our head, and we stopped and we let the sun, for that hour from 12 to 1, we let the sun just press upon us. We did it as kids. Why you think nap time is from what? 12 to 1. What time is kids nap time? Why you think we tell them to nap at 12 to 1? Oh, they growing when they nap. Yeah. We say all of that shit. They tricked us in all of that. Why? Because the only way we can deem ourselves gods was to show them that we can rise above the carnal nature, that we can be more than the flesh, rise above feelings and emotions. Don't get caught up with the 72 demons of the soul of man. All of these things. We taught them how to rise above it. They challenged us. This is where Job comes in, the job of things, right? That's where job comes from. That's why they gave you a J-O-B, right? Because that's the job, to hide you from the real operation of your vessel and put you in a false operation of your vessel. A lot of y'all fell for the job. And now now that we're in the Aquarius sky and this knowledge is coming back in through the universe, now that the sun is pumping this information back in, a lot of people are not connected to it. So now the universe is reset, and the universe is telling you, okay, a lot of y'all feel connected, but they want you to think that you're crazy. They want you to think that you're losing it. So they're putting you on medicines. A lot of y'all are perceiving the future, but they want you to perceive the future in destruction. So they're giving you low vibrational, essence and energies, the feed, the ego, the pride, so on and so forth. So now, then all they got to do is put their disinformation that's out there. Just put the people out there that's just going to continue to pump out Armageddon software. Put the people out there that's going to continue to try to put people in fear, destruction, disaster, so on and so forth. So now we are actually favoring the people who want to destroy the world, the chaotic people. We are favoring them because they got us stuck on entertainment. So now anything that's entertaining or appeasing, that's what we give our attention to. So they literally taught y'all, basically they said, okay, listen, the Mayans knew this shit. Everybody knew this shit. They knew in the Aquarius sky, intention is going to rule the air. So in order for us to destroy this world, we got to put everybody intention on destruction. So they split up to two sides, and these two sides make you think that they're against each other when they're really working with each other. So the two sides is the tail of the two coins, right? So they split up. One called theirself the church, one called theirself science. One called theirself the church, one called theirself, the government, whatever you want to call it, right? And they both are working to the same cause, which is to put everybody's mind in the intent of destruction. And then that way you destroy yourself. One's in the chat if you understand what I just said. One's in the chat. Once you come to the realization that no one can destroy you but you, all fear is relinquished. Once you realize, like, hey, if I don't allow myself to succumb to the state of fear, I can't be destroyed. In order for them to destroy you, they got to bring your essence down into a fearful state. And then, because the world is one big stage, it plays out. So they have to put your spirit in fear, and then fear plays out in the world. Does that make sense? So if they put your spirit in your spirit, once your spirit feels fear, your mind goes into a fearful state of being. Once your mind goes into a fearful state of being, your physical reality will play out that fear. Does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense, because I don't want to lose anybody. I want to articulate this properly so people can get out of this state. This is why so many people are pumping this program of fear into the ether. World star, controversy selling type stuff. Why do you think every time they attack this collective, all we do is go back to talking about knowledge and wisdom? And okay, let's take a break, guys. Let's go talk about knowledge and wisdom. And every time we'll try to deal with the carnal for a little bit. We'll try to come to some type of level of understanding with them. We know that these rituals have to exist down here. We know the duality has to exist, as above, so below, as without, so within, right? All we're saying is we still need a place for spiritual people, right? You guys got your carnal, you guys got all of your, whatever ways, sacrificial, whatever. You guys are giving into the sacral chakra already, right? But for the ones who want to rise above it, that don't want their rituals manipulated like that, I don't want my creative essence manipulated like this. I don't want y'all to manipulate my hormones. I want to be able to use my hormones properly, because that's where the hormonal energy comes from. When you're able to transfer this body into a vessel of Christ, your hormonal energy will change. You'll start taking this essence, this seed, this secretion that is created inside the sac or the seed of man that is rising up your spinal into your colostrum. You'll start using that better, if that makes sense. Right now, they are manipulating our hormonal energy. That's why they keep it empty. That's why they always say empty out the sac, right? That's why they release the incubus and the succubus on our dream state, and then in the world they got women in lust, right? So in the dream state, you got these incubus and succubus, right? But in the physical world, they're appearing to us as different, lust beings, different, and people say they call them semen demons. Yes. They are to take the essence out of you. They want you walking around empty. They don't want you to build that essence up. Even if a man built it up for 2 weeks and then put it inside a woman, it's going to be strong. If a man build it up for 30 days with the proper amount of sun and eating, that shit's going to come out yellow as hell. It's going to be thick. It's going to be yellow. That's why they make you drink milk. When you drink milk and you eat the dairy, it turns your seed into a milky substance. But when you sit there and you properly, take in the fruitation and you sit in the sun, it turns into a yellow seed. That yellow seed becomes powerful. That yellow seed is a strong seed. They got y'all spitting out white milk. Y'all don't even know how to strengthen y'all seed. Jacob told you how to strengthen the seed. What did he say he cursed his first sons for? He cursed his first sons because they covered him. They covered him. They stopped the tree of life from getting the sun. So they stopped his body, right? They say kiss my ass where the sun don't shine, right? There's a reason why the sun don't shine there no more, because we covered it. We don't let the sun get to the sac anymore to strengthen the seed, to pass it on to a suitable vessel. We don't do none of the shit that they used to do in the biblical days. Adam and Eve told you it. They covered themselves with cloth or trees or whatever they did. They hid themselves. This is what they were talking about. Nobody operates with the sun anymore. You guys don't even operate with earth anymore. Women don't let their blood go back to the earth. They don't put their menstrual back into the dirt. They put that shit on a cloth and flush it down the fucking commode somewhere, or throw it in the garbage somewhere. That shit's supposed to go back to the earth from which it came. Y'all is not operating y'all vessels properly at all. Nobody's operating their vessels properly. Let's be honest. If women stop eating meat, their menstrual cycle will change. Ask a woman that knows. Ask a woman that knows. Ask them. Y'all gonna tell yourself something wrong. Y'all gonna tell yourself you going through menopause or some shit like that. Every stage of enlightenment that goes on in the vessel is manipulated down here with duality and some type of physical, entrapment of feelings and emotions. You're not in control of your feelings and emotions. That's where emotional intelligence come in. Because the sun is the beginning and Pluto is the end. So it's the beginning and the end, If you look at our universe, Pluto marks the end, is at the end of our galaxy. Remember, this is the brain, but there's also a map of the galaxy too. If it's a map of the galaxy, then you got to look at it like how it is, right? You got what planets do you have? You have the sun, and then you have the closest one, Mercury's, and then you have whatever. In the time of creation, you got to remember that in the time of creation. So when you got creation and the whole creation story, it's the same development as your brain. So the same way your brain is developed is the same way that your mind is. I mean, the same way that the universe is developed. So you come into a I am state, then you come into a, and this is where, you speak things into existence and so on and so forth. So we're in that time of God. We're in that, alpha right now. So right now we're in the time of alpha. We're in that alpha state. So we're in a state where intentions are more powerful. So what you say could come true. You know what your true intentions are. This is why Christ say, negative can't exist in the Aquarius sky. You can't put negative intent out under the time of Aquarius because it's going to backfire on you tenfold. So in this time, you have to be putting out good intentions in order to receive those same intentions. And when it says like treat each other this way or that way, all this stuff that was written in the biblical text, it applies for this air. It applies for the Aquarius sky. So you can't speak negative onto people. You can't sit there. Like a lot of people have become this fake it till they make it. So they pretend to be positive, but really they got negative intent. So now all the people that got negative intent, they're reaping that. They're reaping all of those negative intents that they put out there in the time of belief. Now you're going to know what it is that you put out there, the bed that you made. A lot of people don't like the bed they made. Let's be honest. A lot of people don't like the bed they made. A lot of people made some jacked up beds. And now they mad because now they trying to get other people to mess their bed up. This is a real spiritual war. Y'all just, in the physical, you're going to look at it as just like, probably a lot of people are going to say, oh, it's about money. It's about money. It's about money. Because in your perspective of reality, money rules everything. You're going to see what a lot of people gods are in this time. You're going to see what a lot of people gods are in this time. Look at Barack Obama. Barack Obama didn't say every man needs God in their life to be better, right? Barack Obama said every man needs a, GAY professor in their life. You know what I mean? Like he had. That's what he said. Every man need a GAY guy on standby just in case their kids have the idea. That is the sickest shit I ever heard somebody. You're not even thinking about your kids in that sense, to where as though you thinking about where your kids is putting their fucking body parts. To sit there and say that you should have somebody on standby just in case your kids get curious, that shit's weird to me. I'm not even thinking about my kids and not when my kids is born, not before they born. I'm thinking about, just in case I have a kid that wants to think about penis, let me keep a penis professional around me. Shut the fuck. I wish, in an insane world, everybody just skipped over that damn topic like he didn't say that shit in front of Michael. Like he didn't say that shit in front of Michael. Him and Michael sitting there talking about some you might need a man around to tell you about your father. What the fuck type of time is that? You might need a GAY man around so he could tell you some things about your dad. What? Man, this world is upside down for real, for real. Y'all ain't paying attention to it. They got y'all trapped on World Star and all types of other shit. Now think about it, because a pastor is going to tell you what? A pastor is going to tell you need God in your life. You know what I mean? Alcoholic going to tell you all you need is a bottle, right? Everybody is going to tell you who they God is. You know what I mean? Right now, everybody's going to tell you who they God is, who they worship, right? A rich person going to tell you, throw some money at it, right? Everybody's telling right now. You just got to look at their tail. They telling you who their God is. Remember, our habits create our reality. So a lot of people telling you what their habits are. Some people are going to make it seem like certain things are okay because they have a habit of that. It's just like, Ray J said, right? Once you used to a certain lifestyle, how do you go back and once you realize reality is not about that lifestyle that you're accustomed to, how do you come back and, think about it? Ray J's out here saying a bunch of shit. Nobody knows how to read in between the lines. He's pulling Orlando Brown on y'all. That way, if he do get implemented in something, it can look like he went crazy or just said a bunch of crazy shit. So he's saying shit like, yeah, I was the last one to see Whitney alive. We was about to come out with our relationship and da-da-da-da-da. Huh? That's why he's saying all of that. Cause he pulling the Orlando Brown. He trying to get his truth out there, but he's doing it in a crazy way. That's why all the elites are pulling this move now. Look, everybody pulling a Jaguar Wright or Orlando Brown now. Or That's So Raven. It's the future I can see. Everybody pulling a That's So Raven. Trying to run around and just say a bunch of crazy shit and then tell their truth in the middle of the crazy shit that they saying. So you like, what really happened? Did this happen? Look at Jaguar. Come out with a book that says that Jay-Z was a perfect gentleman. 3 years later, she's saying Jay-Z did all these things to her, right? She done created a wave on the internet. You got Trevor Green. Trevor Green came out of nowhere. That's a story that Jaguar stole from her ex-girlfriend and literally stole her story, stole her whole trafficking story, all of that shit. And then all of a sudden a Trevor Green pops up on the internet. Then Trevor Green going around, and Trevor Green, all of a sudden, Trevor Green now makes cartoons. The same shit we was saying. Around the same time that we was talking about cartoons, Trevor Green all of a sudden comes out and starts making cartoons. Right? All the ideas that we were putting out there, you're watching them steal the ideas now. You're watching them steal intellectual properties. But they're not going to say that they stole it. They're not going to say that they did that. They're not going to say that. They can't. They can't say, they're not going to say that. They can't say it, right? Well, we was here for it. We was all here for it. We was all around for it. We know where the conversations was had, right? We started making cartoons first. We started doing this whole, little skits of cartoons, all of that stuff. Of course, they're taking the ideas, but promoting it the pages that they want to promote because they're all in cahoots together. And then to try to paint somebody out to be a bad guy, to try to paint somebody out to be fucked up because our physical life actually matched the life that we actually saying on the internet. We're actually out here trying to help people. We're actually out here using our resources. A lot of y'all keep on trying to say, where the money come from? How the fuck is he doing this? So on and so forth. Well, y'all, because y'all don't know the history of us. That's why. That's why. Y'all don't know that we went down to Florida and helped somebody get their land off the ground down there already. And that person pays homage every now and again, right? Y'all don't know about the people that we helped in Atlanta Y'all don't know about when the fucking hurricanes was going on and we was down in North Carolina helping. Y'all don't know about the house that we sold in fucking Michigan. Because we not out here trying to gloat about that shit. We really just out here trying to help other people. But y'all want to sit there and try to paint a fucked up picture. Y'all don't know about the people in Texas that we got, that check on us, look out for us, put good intentions on us, put prayer on us whenever we go through some shit. Y'all don't know about them people. Because we not going around trying to say, oh, look at this, look at this. We not out there boasting. We just out there trying to be a better service to other people. That's it. Why? Because people are the ones that's losing in this world. Look at poverty. Why do you think they're about to change the whole homeless laws, right? Anytime you put in an application just to get an apartment, they tell you got to make what? 3 times the amount of the rent. So if the rent's $1,500, you got to make damn near 45. And who's pulling in that kind of monthly with the minimum wage, with the prices of food? If government assistance goes out the window, a lot of people is fucked. If Section 8 go away, a lot of y'all gonna need help. So why are we not putting together the space to help people right now? Why y'all tearing down everybody who's trying to actually build physical communities in a time where we about to need physical communities? That shit don't even make sense. Y'all all on here grifting, getting money, but none of y'all putting together nothing to buy land. What happened to that Black Wall Street shit that y'all was talking about? Why ain't none of the black people that's on these fucking pages getting all this money? Why ain't none of them start no housing yet? None of them put together a project, apartment buildings to help their people. None of that shit. All of them just going to Dubai, taking vacations and shit like that. Why you think that is? Because they put the money in the hands of people that they know was going to use it frivolously. They put the hands, they put the attention, they give the fame to the people that they know is going to use the money frivolously. Y'all motherfuckers ain't really coming out with no banks. Y'all ain't really trying to help y'all people, save y'all people. None of that shit. Y'all became accustomed to tearing each other down. That's what it is. And it's not just our people. Gen Xers too. Iron sharpening iron, my fucking ass. Y'all been sharpening iron all these years and I ain't seen a sharp piece of steel yet. So, iron sharpens iron. Everybody running around like they a sharpener. I ain't seen a sharp nothing. Everything is dull as fuck. And the people that's out here really trying to help people, really trying to do shit, y'all keep on tearing down their image and likeness down. Why? Because y'all probably don't even live in America. The people that's doing this shit probably don't even live in America. Probably got fake paperwork, all types of shit, fake names, probably got somebody else's social security number and everything. This is a data war that we're in. Half these people exist on the internet and on the internet only. They are personas. They are not real. That's why bots are that's why people say bots, NPCing, because these people are not real. Look at the arguments that they keep themselves circling in. Look at the bullshit that they keep siphoning in. Every time you come up with a good idea, an idea of peace, an idea of unity, they don't even want to listen to that shit. I told Golden and Lady Letitia, why don't y'all just do a cooking show? I'm pretty sure a lot more people will just come in there to you know, for y'all to talk and cook, right? Shit, the way this world works, people would have fucking donated to see them cook. All they had to do was put the list of items out there that they wanted, and people would have bought the fucking items just to watch them fucking cook it. Nope, nah, that's not entertaining. Nope, don't want to do that. Come on, man. We want to argue. I'm telling them, people over on TikTok making ass load of money counting rice. If you a painter, all you got to do is just point the fucking shit at the canvas and just paint and talk, and people are going to pay for that shit. But nah, y'all don't want to take the time to build the pages. Y'all don't want to take the time to trying to tell y'all, man, digital, if you ain't building a brand or an image around yourself, some form of digital currency, the world is moving into a new currency system. You got a chance right now to get out in front of it. Look at Kai Cenat. Look at Aiden Ross. Look at ISO Speed. Look at all of these people. They changed the world that we live in. The rappers now, they're not making any money. They have to go to streaming. Look at Jadakiss and Fat Joe. Look at the NFL players that's going to podcasting. Podcasting and streaming is the direction to go in. But these people will tear down the image of the spiritual people that's trying to, you know, figure this stuff out, right? But they'll boost the image of the people who's putting out lust, greed, gluttony, all of that stuff. They know that we're moving into a